Shalom everyone. Once again, this is Amir Tsarfati and I am live from Vienna, Austria. Vienna, the largest federal capital of nine states that compiles the federal government of Vienna. Nine different states here in Austria compiles together into one country. In the past, it was the Austro-Hungarian Empire. There were times when Austria, the empire, would reach all the way to the coast of Italy, but now it's a country without any access to any ocean, to any sea. They don't have any navy, and it's a country that is in the past few years was receiving a lot of immigrants, and that is exactly why the crisis in this country brought about the change and the rise of the young Chancellor Sebastian Kurz, who, by the way, is no longer a chancellor because of some coalition problems, but he will probably be once again a chancellor because both the left and the right understand that without the center they cannot form a government. Sebastian Kurz was very strong advocate of limiting the Muslim immigration into the land, into the country, and as of January 1st, believe it or not, Austria is forbidding the wearing of the burqa, but because they were trying to be politically correct, actually they forbid all government officials, all public workers to not only not wear burqa, but also not wear a cross or a yarmulke, in order not to offend one religion and to be in favor of another. So we can see the politically correctness taking over Europe, even here in Austria. Now, let's review in just a few seconds what happened in the last few days in the world and also in the Middle East. In Israel, we're going to start in Israel, folks. In Gaza, we are having issues there. Of course, Hamas wants money, and he received $25 million in cash from the Qatari envoy that entered into Gaza 2 days ago. 60,000 families will receive $100 each, and then the rest goes to the government over there. We know that the money is not going to help really most of the Gazans. The Gazans, over 2 million people, are actually held hostage by the Hamas government. And finally, under the pressure of President Trump, the Egyptian President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi opened the Rafah border crossing, and about 400 there was a quota of 400, limit of 400 Gazans that are allowed to leave Gaza into Egypt, from there to Turkey, and from there to Europe. But believe it or not, over the last year, 35,000 people already left Gaza. Israel, over the last few days, government officials confirmed that Israel is checking possibilities of helping the Gazans by operating an airport in the southern part of Israel for direct flights from Israel all the way to Turkey, directly to Turkey or any other country that will be willing to receive the Gazans. You have to understand that there's a humanitarian crisis in Gaza because of Hamas, and there is no blockade because there is access into Egypt, and of course Israel is flowing a lot of goods and medications into Gaza, but the Hamas regime is of course holding its people as hostages. They are not using one single dime to help the people, but they're using everything for terror infrastructure. So Israel is even willing to help the Palestinians by allowing them to leave Gaza to somewhere abroad. It's interesting because there is no Arab country that wants them, and the Hamas doesn't want them to leave because they're the weapon, and it's Israel that is actually willing to let them go and find a better future somewhere else. It connects to what I've been trying to tell you for the last few weeks, that we're watching a great exchange. Those who claim that the land is theirs realize that they have nothing to look for any future there. They understand that they'll never destroy Israel, and they'll never take the whole country that they think Palestine is to be theirs. So now they are changing and recalculating their route, and they understand that let's just go somewhere else. It's the biggest crisis the Palestinian movement ever had in its history. However, at the same time, we have thousands of Jewish new immigrants that are coming into Israel over the last few weeks and months, finding Israel safer from anti-Semitism and safer also for them financially and also spiritually. They can worship as Jews without the fear of being attacked. So the Great Exchange, as I said, the Jews biblically should return back to the land. And as I said, the Bible doesn't talk about a Palestinian state. Yes, enemies will come and divide Jerusalem and all of that, but we don't really deal with the Palestinian state. Certainly not in the scriptures. We know that the Jews must come back to Jerusalem, must come back to Israel in order to receive their Messiah at the end of the tribulation. Now, that's about Gaza. The West Bank, folks, yesterday there was a terrible terror attack. A father, 46-year-old Rabbi Eitan, and his two children, the 18-year-old Dvir, 19-year-old Dvir, and 17-year-old Rina Shenrav. They walked in a beautiful nature reserve in the West Bank, and a group of terrorists threw an explosive device and that killed the 17-year-old girl and injured badly the father and the son. The father used his prayer shawls and his thistles to stop the bleeding of his son. Folks, Jews are being killed because they're Jews in the West Bank. They're not being killed because they carried weapons. They're not being killed because they did something to any Arabs. They're simply being killed because they are Jewish people. There was no condemnation from the world community. There was only one condemnation we heard, and that's from the U.S. envoy to Israel, David Friedman, and that's it. It's okay for the world that Jews will be killed by Arabs. It's God forbid if Israel would have done, or a Jew would have done something like that, the world would have gone nuts. Now, this is what happened over there in the West Bank, and we can see that they're trying hard to bring back the focus to the Palestinian issue, but there is no one to buy it. Right now, there's too many problems, and now I'm shifting our attention to what is going on in Syria and what is going on in Iran and Iraq. Folks, first of all, our neighbor Lebanon, the credit ratings company Fitch just downgraded Lebanon to triple C, from B minus to triple C. This is junk, which means no investor would like to invest in Lebanon. In fact, S&P Global Ratings left it at B minus, but it's 6 steps below the investor's grade and 1 level higher than Moody's Investor Service. Folks, Lebanon is suffering from the meddling of Iran with the Hezbollah in its territory, and Lebanon is paying the price for it, and the Lebanese do not want another war with Israel. I believe that, again, Ezekiel 38 does not include Lebanon. Ezekiel 38 and 39 talks about Iran, Russia, Turkey, Sudan, and Libya, and that brings me to Iran. Iran is very angry because Israel is sabotaging its entrenchment in all around the Middle East. Iran is very far from Israel, just so you understand. So what they do, they advance rockets from Iran to Iraq, from Iraq into Syria, and from Syria into Lebanon. And so basically they want to create a ring all around Israel, and at the day of command they will rain thousands of rockets on Israel. Well, Israel announced more than once, and we told it to Vladimir Putin and to President Trump, that Israel will have to do whatever it takes to eliminate the Iranian threat, not only on our border, but anywhere we see that it's coming from. And over the past 30 days, Israel struck 3 times that you should know of, and probably more that no one is talking about, striking Iranian targets. Now, who are we exactly attacking in Iraq? Well, just so you know, in 2014, 2012, a new Shiite militia, was established in Iraq to fight ISIS. The militia was called Hashd al-Shabi, the Popular Congregation. It's about 100,000 people that are forming a paramilitary organization that was basically the Shiites that are fighting the Sunni ISIS. Folks, being Shiites, they're more loyal to Iran than they're loyal to any Sunni government, and therefore Iran managed to use the army bases of the Hashd al-Shabi as a place where they can smuggle rockets and missiles in order to keep advancing them towards Syria and to create a land bridge basically all the way from Tehran to the Mediterranean Sea. And folks, Israel is not saying exactly clearly that we attacked there, but Netanyahu said more than once, and he said it also when he came back when he was about to leave Kiev, Ukraine, on his way back to Israel a couple days ago. He said that Israel will do whatever it takes, wherever it will be, to stop the Iranian entrenchment. Ever since Netanyahu said that, the Iraqis could no longer keep quiet. One of the Iraqis legislators said that this is a declaration of war and we need to attack Israel. Of course, the Iraqis are afraid because they understand that what Iran is doing to them is basically creating like Syria within Iraq, where everybody will be able to come and attack because there is chaos over there. Israel is not claiming responsibility on any of those strikes, but it's obvious that the F-35s are working extra hours. In fact, Iran was just offering Iraq new radar systems that will detect the F-35s, that's what they say, and also a new air defense system that will hit the F-35s. Iran is actually becoming more and more vocal in the way they talk about what they have. They just announced that they have new rockets that are very precise rockets. They have new air defense systems. They have new radars that are more advanced than ever. What they do not know is that Israel is using nowadays the most sophisticated surface-to-surface rockets in the world, the most sophisticated in the world, and they are faster than the S-300 that the Russians made. So when the rocket is faster than the one that comes to destroy it, then the target is for sure going to be destroyed. So we see also that there is an ongoing arms race in the Middle East. Israel is, of course, not only developing defense systems, but also offense and also offensive systems, such as I said, our air capability and our ground-to-ground, surface-to-surface capabilities as well. Now, let's talk for a few seconds on two global issues that are very interesting. The trade war between China and America. China declared that it is basically raising tariffs of about $75 billion goods from America, and in return, President Trump is actually raising the tariffs on goods, ladies and gentlemen, $550 billion. The Chinese are so frustrated. They blinked first when it comes to playing with the value of the currency, and now they will have to blink again because America buys so much from China that if that is going to be hurt, the Chinese economy will bleed terribly. So it's interesting because it could be that those trade wars will basically lower the guards of those countries of what's going on in the Middle East. And God forbid, once those two countries are no longer in power, what the mice are going to do when they come out of their holes. I just posted on Facebook and on YouTube once again a message that I gave 3 years ago, I think, the Illuminati and the One World Government, and you can watch it. It's a fascinating message. Goes all the way back to Genesis 3. You understand it? I'm not some sort of conspiracy theory person. I'm literally showing the ways of Satan and plans of Satan and the modus operandi, the way he operates. And of course, I'm talking about the illuminated people, those who think they saw the light, but it's the light of Lucifer, of course. But the reason why I mention that now is because two things happened in the last couple of days. The first thing is that the British Governor of the Bank of England, Mark Carney, just said that the role of the dollar as a dominant world currency has to come to an end, and he said that a digital global currency should replace the dollar. Folks, the whole Bitcoin and those type of digital coins, and of course Facebook is coming with their own coin, and YouTube, God knows who else, maybe also Google will come with theirs. This was setting the ground for people to get used to some currency that will have nothing to do with real coins and real bills. And that is, of course, a step before people will no longer be able to use real money, but it will all be electronic. And ladies and gentlemen, the second thing that is happening is, of course, they are not resting when it comes to the global warming and the need for global government. Right now, we are watching one of the world's largest ecological disasters, and that is the Amazon over there in South America. About 3 weeks ago, fires started in the Amazon, and we are talking about, these are the rainforests that are providing almost 20% of oxygen to what we have around us, and 73,000 fires are burning in different places. 10,000 of them started in the past week. Now, most of it is because of reforestation, and of course people want some more land for to grow stuff and to pasture their cows, sheep, goats, whatever it is. But remember, fires are all over in Siberia right now, and that has nothing to do with that. Fires are also happening all across the United States and in many other places in Southeast Asia. Definitely we see that it's a global thing. It's not only the Amazon. And this is, by the way, not the first time the Amazon is burning in such a way. But I do want you to know that all the eyes and all the fingers are now pointing at Jair Bolsonaro, and that is, of course, the evangelical, conservative new president of Brazil that was sworn in and entered in office on January 1st of 2019. Folks, it's only been less than 9 months in office, and they already tried to say that he is responsible to this world catastrophe. Folks, you have to understand now, a lot of theories are now being floated by the Medianites, the media, as if there is some sort of a conspiracy of Bolsonaro to somehow advance wealthy families and kick the inhabitants of the Amazons away. That's one more attempt to smear an evangelical conservative world leader, and that is, of course, because of his stance on so many issues when it comes to talking about God, LGBTQ, and all of those things. That he's definitely super conservative, and it makes the one world government movement, the globalists, super angry. And so let's smear him. Let's put all the problems, not to mention that these problems happened before and they happen all over the world, but let's make him look bad, and let's attach, just like they do to Trump. I mean, this whole as if he's the one who built cages for the immigrants in the southern border, which it wasn't him, it was Obama, and he's the one who separates the children from parents, and it actually was more enforced by the Obama administration. And so this is an attempt to again attack a conservative, Bible-believing, evangelical Christian president, in one of those largest countries in the world. And it's interesting because President Trump understands what Bolsonaro is going through. And today, just about an hour ago, he tweeted that he has a very good conversation with Brazil's president. The trade between the two countries is on the right path. He's encouraging the president, and he's also offered help to the president to fight the fires in the Amazon. So those are great things from a friend to a friend in light of very, very biased media coverage of that crisis. So we talked about what's going on in Lebanon. We talked about what's going on in Syria. We talked about Iran that is frustrated with what's going on in Iraq. We talked about Gaza and the West Bank, and we talked about also Turkey. That I don't know if I mentioned that, but Turkey is also dealing with. Oh, I'm sorry, there was some bug here. Turkey is dealing with some problems in the northern part of Syria where they encounter quite a few obstacles on the way. Folks, as you can see, the effort of the globalist continues. As you can see, the effort for one world currency continues. As you can see, the plans for Ezekiel 38 and 39 continues. As you can see, the trade wars are bringing the guards down, lowering the guards of both America and China because they're dealing with economies of both countries that are affecting the economies of the whole world. Bible prophecy is being fulfilled, and the Bible is once again found the most reliable book and reliable source of information regarding not only future or past, but also our present situation. So I hope I put together everything in the right perspective for you. This is a short Middle East update, as I promised, and I want to encourage all of you folks. I'm getting signals that social media is the next thing that is going to come against evangelicals. Not only that, we already see that they are trying to meddle in the elections and trying to encourage people to vote some way and to smear the other way. But I am telling you folks, the operation on social media that is going on right now of Behold Israel is at great risk. And I can feel it, I can sense it, that the day is not too far from now that they will not only censor but also ban. And that's why I want to encourage all of you to visit our website and to sign up for our newsletter and to download our free app, because these are the only ways we can get to you without relying on social media. You can get weekly a newsletter, you can visit our app and get text messages as push notifications if something happens, and you can also go online and see what is going on in the ministry. So I want to encourage you all, download the free app Behold Israel, sign up for our newsletter and devotional through our website beholdisrael.org, and visit our website as you can to see all the rest of the things. I'm on Instagram, Behold Israel, Facebook, Behold Israel, YouTube, Behold Israel, and also again, these are ways for social media platforms to grow, but the day is coming. I can see it coming. It will, of course, challenge us. And the simple way is this: let's block ministries from telling the truth, so lie can prosper, so deception can continue. So again, help me to help you get the truth out, and help me to help many others around the world by downloading the app and getting the newsletter and establishing those type of ways of communication that will bypass social media in case it happens overnight in the next few weeks and months or whatever. It is coming. I can see it, and let's get ready and not fall asleep. Good. Let me conclude this short update with a Aaronic blessing, and I think I covered everything. Yeah, let's do it. Yevarechecha Adonai v'yishmerecha. יאר אדוני פניו אליך ויחונקה. יישא אדוני פניו אליך וישם לך שלום. The Lord bless you and keep you. The Lord shine his face upon you and be gracious to you. The Lord lift up his countenance towards you and give you peace. That peace that the world cannot give, that the world doesn't even understand. It's the peace that surpasses all understanding, that can only come from the Prince of Peace, who can give you peace now and forever, here and everywhere, not limited in time and not limited in space. And in the name of the Prince of Peace, we pray, in the name of Yeshua. Amen. Thank you. God bless you. Shalom and good night from Vienna, Austria. Bye-bye.